Hey there, welcome to the Jeff and Heidi Show, where you're going to have the opportunity to listen to and learn from everyday entrepreneurs. All right, welcome to the Jeff and Heidi Show. Glad to be with you today. I'm with my co-host, Heidi Anderson from Electronic Commerce International, which is ECISecurePay.com. And I'm Jeff Heggie from Jeff Heggie Coaching, and you can find me at jeffheggie.com. We're excited today to have our special guests with us and talk to them about what they're doing, what they have going on, how they came together, their backgrounds, and there's so much to this story. It's exciting to talk about it, but it's Tia Heggie and Elizabeth Baker. And, you know, I'll let Elizabeth start. And I just want to have you talk about how you and I got involved and basically the start of your journey. And then we're going to pull in how Tia got involved with you, and then how that created what you are doing today with You Today Academy and all the exciting stuff you guys have going on. So Elizabeth, go ahead and just do a brief introduction and a little bit of background.
All right. Okay. Well, my name is Elizabeth Baker. I grew up in Canada and I currently live in Utah. My husband and I have moved about 14 times in the last 12 years of marriage. And so we have lived in 2 different countries and 3 different states and like the whole works, right? But the beginning, I've always thought that we've lived this crazy life. And then 2020 hit and I realized, oh, we had no idea what crazy was until now. But at the beginning of the year, before, I think back in February, well, up to that point, I had been on it in different direct sales companies. And so the whole world of self-development, entrepreneurial world, just things like that, I had been a part of for about 2 years. And the very first self-help book I ever read was Rachel Hollis's Girl, Go Wash Your Face. And it was super inspirational for me. And it just hit home. And I was introduced to this whole world that I didn't even know existed. I didn't even know that people like read books to like be better. Like honestly, I don't know what I was doing, like honestly. And so I was kind of introduced to that world and I just fell in love with it. And then the beginning of 2020 hit and I just felt like this like urge inside of me that I should be doing something. I have 5 kids, 10 and under, and most people are like, isn't that enough? And I thought like, well, maybe, but I just like at the beginning of the year, I was just like, there's something that I need to be doing right now and I don't know what it is. And so because of direct sales, I'm really active on social media, especially Instagram. And I was following, I made a post or a comment on a guy named Richie Norton, who is this incredible personal development in the business world, entrepreneurial teacher and leader, and who happens to be a mutual friend with Jeff. And I posted something of his, he reposted it, and Jeff saw it. And Jeff saw on my profile page that I was a Canadian living in the US, which is similar to Jeff. And he kind of reached out and said, hey, who do you know up in Canada? This is what I do. And we just started talking. And it's just really crazy because I had also, up to that point, I was looking for a business coach, but I couldn't really I didn't feel good about anything that was out there. I talked to multiple coaches and it just wasn't what I was looking for. And because it didn't have that real personal touch of like, I would just be like one of the many in a lot of their programs. So anyways, we started talking and I ended up calling Jeff for I think we talked for maybe an hour, and I literally word vomited everything on Jeff. Like, this is what I want in life. These are my dreams. This is how I want to help people. I really feel like I have certain talents and information in my mind that I would love to teach people. And I'm a teacher by trade. I do have my degree in education, but I don't teach in the public schools, but all this kind of stuff. And then before I knew it, I signed Jeff up for my coach. You literally took all this word vomit that I'm like, I want to do this. I love this. Oh, by the way, I have ADHD. Do you want to help me out? And it was like basically what it was. And Jeff's like, done. I gotcha. And and then so we started talking together. We really put together like slow over the weeks that we had our one-on-one coaching calls. We really started to put together something unique together. And then he started talking about his daughter, Tia. And I'm like, oh, I've got to meet this girl. She sounds incredible. And so I started following Tia on Facebook, and I'll let Tia tell her story. But that's how I got introduced to Tia, was through Jeff. So that's pretty much it.
All right. So go ahead, Tia. Add in your little backstory and what brought you together.
Right. So while Liz and my dad were like getting to know each other and all of that, I was serving as a missionary for my church in Eastern Canada. And during this time, while I was like helping people and doing service for them, I really just grew to love helping anyone I could. And I would talk to my dad about this and say like, I would love to be like a motivational speaker or just to like be an influencer of any kind. And a couple weeks went by and I would like talk to him about this, and this is a passion he has. And so he was really excited to talk to me about this. And then one time when we were talking about it, he brought up Liz and said, you know, I just met this amazing girl. You will like love her. You're pretty much the same person, same goals, same desires. And so I got really excited, but I still had quite a bit of time left as a missionary. And so the time came in March when COVID and everything happened, and I came home like a month early. And so when I came home, Liz and I started talking, and we just hit it off. Like, we have a lot of the same views and beliefs, values, and we just were so excited to start working together. And it just worked out that like my dad and her connected, and then he connected both of us together, and we just had the same dreams. And so it's been really good to work with Liz, and yeah.
So we'll go on in a bit and explain what you guys are doing, but a few things. Liz, you talked about, we connected kind of because of Richie, and I met Richie when he was still a student at BYU Hawaii. And we were over there and we got to be friends with her family and stuff. And that's one thing, actually, when Tia was on her mission, she said that a few times. When I get home, I want to go live with Natalie and Richie and just mentor off them and learn from them. And so, yeah, it's great to have that. And it was, I mean, well, even on this call right now, you look, there's definitely some commonalities here. Everyone here on this call has the entrepreneurial spirit, but even more important, we're all basketball players. So
hugely important.
Yeah, that's always a big thing.
What's that law of attraction thing, right?
That's exactly right. So for anyone that's listening, so Heidi actually played, was it 1 year at Arizona?
1 year at Arizona, yeah.
And then to
LSU.
LSU. So she was big time. I played, but I've coached for the last 20 years, and I've had the opportunity to spend most of that time coaching Tia from very young through high school. And now she's going on to play college ball. And when Liz and I first met, I think, you know what I think made us hit it off so well is I actually knew the place and where it was that she was from, even though it's a population of Liz's family, almost as all that's there.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's 300 people or something like that.
But
they're all related for the most part in some way.
Pretty much.
And I think, you know, like Heidi said, the law of attraction, there's definitely a lot of congruency. And I think that's one thing in business is when you can bring like-minded people together. And, you know, all four of us have been on my mastermind call, and it's stuff like that where people can bring their like-minded ideas and thoughts together and grow something out of it. And that's what's been exciting to watch Tia and Liz is getting together and watching what they've been able to do. And, you know, just like with everything in entrepreneurship, there's your successes, there's your struggles and everything, and they've been able to experience all of those. But I guess now Tia and Liz, if you guys can share where you guys are taking what you're doing and what you developed, and explain what You Today Academy is. And then most important, I want to hear a lot about Pattern of Success and talk about that. And I want to share some experiences I have with it as well. But if you guys want to start and just kind of explain You Today Academy and where you're going with things.
I'll go ahead and start, and then Tia can hop in. But it's just kind of crazy how it all came together, because when Jeff and I first started working together, I actually started a website called Mom Life Today. And because I'm a mom of 5 young kids, and one of the things that I noticed amongst me and my friends that a lot of women struggled with was their personal identity, and how easy that it is to get lost in motherhood, who you are as an individual. And I just couldn't help but think that, like, those traits that often get lost that we have, because we're serving all the time, because we love our children and everything, I just feel like you can still serve and love your family and not let go of those personal traits by using those traits to raise your kids. And it was just something, like a message that was really powerful to me. And you know, so Jeff and I worked for a couple of months, and when Tia got home and we started teaming up, the thought came to me is about how, like, this would actually be really good information to teach our youth. Like, if I knew this stuff when I was 16 rather than 37, then I just think of, like, how much more confidence I would have had growing up. But and so after I started talking to Tia, and we're on our very first group call, and we just started clicking, and we're talking about how, like, we would just love to give people hope. We would love to give people confidence in themselves, and teach people that you don't have to be good at basketball or music or anything like that, any specific talent, to have confidence. And we started talking about it, and I think Tia was like, and we started throwing around names and everything like that. And then I think it was Tia that was like, well, what about You Today Academy? And we're just like, yes, that's it. That's the name of our company. So no matter what we do in the future, when we're able to actually start speaking in front of groups again, whatever it is that we come up with, so far we have that first course called The Pattern of Success that we worked so hard on, and we're so excited to share that with people. It's all under the company of UT Academy, and that's how that kind of got going. And then Tia, maybe you can explain a little bit how, why, how the course, or why we decided to do a course a little bit on the pattern of success, or your experience with it.
Yeah. So what the pattern of success is it's kind of like a wheel, and it's dreams, epiphany, belief, and achievement. And through these 4 steps is our course that we made, and it's videos of us talking about these different things and how in life we go through them. And I think, like, the biggest thing that I've taken away from me and Liz doing this, one, it's helped me more than anything, being able to create this course with Liz and just research, and just us talking and sharing sharing stories with each other has helped me so much. But I think the biggest thing that I've taken away from it is that, like, your success in life and your end achievements that happen in life, whether it is winning a championship in basketball, or that's like the only example I can think of is basketball. But whatever your achievement is, it's not the end moment that you, like, take the most out of. It's all of the little achievements along the way that has grown you and made you the person you are today. And I think that's one thing that I'm really wanting to focus on in my life right now, is watching myself grow in the little moments and the little achievements along the way, rather than just focusing on the end result, if that makes sense.
Brought to mind, like, Miley Cyrus's song, The Climb. It's like, I always want to climb another mountain, and it goes, but it's the climb, right? Mm-hmm. And it is, it's the journey. It's that, because once you get there, you're not going to be done, right? There'll be something else. So it's always going to be, exactly, the journey and the climb, and enjoying and being happy and creative along the way.
Our tagline for the company is, it's not what you achieved that brought you success, but who you became along the way. Right. And I think it's just so important, because, like, I feel, especially for youth in high school, they feel like there only can be technically one winner, like only one first place, one second place, or whatever. But does that mean that the hundreds of other kids that didn't get first place, that was trying to get first place? Does it mean that their efforts were wasted? Does it mean that they're unsuccessful? Does it mean that they're not of worth? No, of course not. And so that was just really important to us. But what I think is, I don't know if ironic's the right word, but interesting to me is the fact that by learning to tap into these little successes and focusing on these little successes and focusing on this pattern of success that we teach, you'll find that you're actually achieving those achievements that you do want more often. And it just becomes so much more fulfilling when you do actually achieve what it is that you're going for. So
I think one of the things I find intriguing about that too is it helps people to recognize those achievements, because like you say, so many people just look at that big end goal as the only real achievement, but to get there, there's so many achievements on the way. And so I just want to actually share a little bit of my experience with this, because I was involved in the background on this. I was helping them talk about certain things. Liz and I were still in our coaching sessions talking about stuff. They would show me, their booklet and all the edits they're doing. I never really had an opportunity to really look at it from an outside perspective and just go through the course. But recently, I started actually going through the course with my younger daughter, Jovi, and to actually sit in a different chair and experience this course from a different angle, it's awesome. Being in a position where with being a coach, I've coached for years and years, and that was everything from, I think Tia was in 4th grade when I started coaching her, all the way through high school, and just even being involved with coaching my son's football and his basketball and just different youth things I've been involved in. Now, this course, I think a tough thing about this course is finding a niche market for it, because it could apply to everybody. But the more I looked at it and saw what Tia and Liz had created, I thought, this is for the youth. Because, from being in the positions I have, and I've seen youth that have confidence issues, that have, all different things, that they just don't have that belief in themselves, and all the things that youth go through these days. This course is something that every youth could benefit from by going through it and recognizing the power and the value that they have in themselves. And of course, me sitting and going through it with my 13-year-old is awesome, because I'm getting just as much out of it. Mm-hmm. And so I think there's a lot of power in that. And so do you guys have any thoughts or comments on that?
Yeah, I honestly, when Tia and I speak and what our purpose is even behind this course, especially at the beginning, just all these analogies that would come to our minds or any examples, we just thought, oh, this would relate to actually the youth. Would relate to the youth. And I've always had a special place in my heart for the youth. It's just something that I've worked with the youth in my church callings, and things like the things I do within the church and all that kind of stuff. And I just feel like people talk about being called to do something in life, whatever that might be. And the youth are always on my mind. And I just think that they're incredible. I think they're becoming smarter and smarter and stronger and stronger. And, but where I feel like I could help and what we could do to help them is give them confidence and give them hope. And I really feel that and Tia and I were all, sorry, I'm going to jump around a little bit. That's because of ADHD. But Tia and I were talking before this interview. And we were just saying that I can't help but think that today, when I was a youth in the 90s, it was always about the next big party. It was always about the next fun trip or exciting thing, and who was going to what house party and all that kind of stuff. That's a really 90s thing, I think. But you look at the youth now, and I feel like they're just starving for something more. They're starving for fulfillment. And instead of that next big fun thing, I think we're seeing this shift of youth looking for more fulfillment in their life. And I really truly believe that for someone to find fulfillment, they need to A, have a purpose, and B, have hope for the future. And I really, really believe that if anybody has those, but especially the youth, they have confidence in their own abilities, in their dreams, and take their dreams and make those dreams into a purpose, then have hope in themselves and in the future, and find hope in what they are doing. I believe that that's how someone lives a fulfilling life. And I feel like the youth now, that's what they're looking for. Like, they really are. And so that's
does
why.
your course help them find their purpose? I mean, so they don't have to come into it with a purpose? Because I know I'm a lot older than you guys, and I still struggle with that, knowing exactly what my purpose is. And so this, what you take them through will help them come to that.
Mm-hmm. And we have like a book and everything that goes along with our videos, and there is an entire section about finding your why, like finding your true purpose. Like, we have an entire section on that. And I think it's really amazing that you can go into this course not knowing like your why, your purpose, like why you're even here, and leave the course knowing these things. And like Liz said, if she, like, for me, even if I had this at a younger age, the amount of more confidence and more like purpose behind what I was doing I would have would be an extreme amount. And so the sooner,
it'll be huge.
And I think that's why we want this directed towards the youth more, because the sooner you find your why and find your purpose, the better off you are for the future.
And you can focus on it, and at least you can course correct if you feel like you're not there, or if you're going, okay, this is my goal and I'm going towards it, but you know what, I'm not really happy. So, okay, how do I course correct? And that now, the only other question I had about that is, so for kids that say maybe don't have access to internet or videos, do you have a course for kids that maybe don't have consistent access to the technology?
Well, we definitely have. Because we pre-recorded everything, we are extremely flexible in what we do and how we give people the information. And so right now it is only online, but with a quick email or reach out to TRI, we would gladly put together an email for them just to get into their hands. So even if they just have access to the internet, just to download maybe, or something like that, we would love to accommodate anybody that really felt like they needed it. Also, like, because of COVID, a lot of our plans have kind of been on hold when it comes, because I'm a very in-person person. like this whole online stuff, I've gotten used to it, but where my fulfillment comes and where my strengths come in is just that in-person coaching, one-on-one. And I hope that it gets to a point where, and it may not be this year, but I would T and I would love to go into schools and do assemblies. I'm trying to think of the word that people use, but I think they use the word assemblies at schools and be in person. And we would love to actually expand this into a course that schools could pick up and create the content to where if there's a junior high or high school, or even like 6th grade even, I think could even tap it, like just to start tapping into these thoughts and these terms and these ideas. They may not get everything, but at least it will be placed in the back of their mind for the future when they're old enough to actually understand a lot of what's going on. And so we would love to be able to work with schools that way to get it into hands of those kids that just don't have access to internet at all, but still clearly deserve to hear what their inner potential is, what their inner confidence is. Like, just because some child doesn't have internet, it doesn't make them any more worthy to find out what their inner strengths are. Right. So. Right.
No, and because what came to mind, I've worked a lot with foster kids, and I've been was a CASA in the foster care program. And I was thinking of like the girls that are like in group homes and that are in the foster care system, because they're so vulnerable to, once they age out, their lives can go many different directions, and they're easily, trafficked and things like that too. If there's a way to get it to them, but they don't always have consistent, because they don't even know where they're going to be sometimes. That's what came to my mind, or like a workbook form. But I agree with you that for them, it would probably even be better if there was you guys, your interaction, your spirit, your energy coming through instead of just trying to do a workbook.
And the thing, as you're talking about that, Liz, one thing I thought is, who knows when this is going to open up and you guys can actually get out there and speak at schools and stuff. We put these podcasts on here so that in 5 years from now, it's just as important as what we're talking about at this moment. And hopefully you'll be able to do that. But if there's a school administrator that's listening to this now, reach out to these guys. They can do this virtually. The workbooks can be sent to you and they can be printed off at the school, and these guys can speak to your students virtually very easily. And obviously the school systems are understanding how that works because everyone's had to adjust over the last while. But something, I want it to be evergreen so this can last forever, but right now we are in the middle of COVID and we've been talking about that. And as you're speaking, Liz, one of the things I was thinking about, I'm a member of a group on Facebook called Ask Your Coach. Shameless plug, go follow Ask Your Coach on Facebook and join our group. But every week we have a topic, and each coach that's involved, we talk about that topic, we speak about different things, and then we have a day that people can call in and ask questions and stuff. And last week the topic was lockdown, and each coach talks about the different things how that has impacted and stuff. And I talked about the impact it's had on youth. And so right now, this is what our youth need. They need stuff like this, that they've been locked down. We've all heard all the horror stories that have happened as parents are focused on work, kids are online, and child predators, all those sort of things. But we've also just the lack of a social life, the lack of so many things, that it's not helping build confidence. It's not helping build a child up that needs to be experiencing things and having that self-confidence and everything they need right now. And this course is something that would be beneficial to them right now. In 10 years, this course is going to be beneficial. But right now, for these youth that have been locked up for 6 months, this is essential. And who knows where the price is going to be in the future, but for $37.
Teaching certificate, can you maybe go to the schools and say, I want to be a kind of a substitute teacher, and then whenever you have of a certain grade, and whenever you have your audience, you can that'll be their coursework for the day. Just an idea.
No, I love it. I think that was my main vision. Tia and I both, Tia is just going to be starting her own college career right now. And I'm really excited for her to learn what she's going to learn in college and then bring that to the table. And like Jeff was just saying, it's evergreen, and it's going to be just as relevant in 10 years as it is now. But whereas I've already went through that whole college experience, got my teaching degree, it's just kind of fun because after I got my teaching degree, I always knew I wouldn't be part of the public school system in the same as a sense of being hired as a teacher, teaching at the same school. I always felt like that wasn't necessarily for me, but I was kind of torn because I'm I want to be a teacher, but I don't know how. I love teaching. I love getting passionate about things. I love sharing what I know, and I love building people up. And so I became a teacher. And then after I was done my student teaching, I came out of that experience thinking, I am never going to teach in the public school system ever. That was hell. I'm sorry, but just all the regulations I have to keep to and everything that was not a good fit for my ADHD mind. And but you were saying, Heidi, I think the way that we've set up this course and the workbook that Tia and I have created, it will be perfect for if I was able to go in and train teachers even in this. It could be an elective course, elective 6-week course easily in public school systems. And I think that one of the benefits that this whole COVID situation is going to have on these public schools, it is going to like people are looking for, even within like this public school system, not so much charter schools or private schools, because they've always had this mentality of doing something unique, doing something different that's unique to them. Whereas public schools, for the last how many years, it's like this like factory system set up where you sit in desks and you learn. It's just like you take information and you spit it out, take information, spit it out, right, through your tests. And I really think that this COVID situation is going to change that for a lot of school systems. I really do. And I really think that these public school systems are going to look for new ways to teach children and what we're going to be teaching them. And I think this course would be an excellent elective course, like even like something that you need to take when you go into ninth grade or your freshman year of high school, like as like, hey, your freshman year, you need to take this class. It's only 6 weeks long, and just to get their brains going for the rest of their high school life.
So you're thinking like 13, 14 is the age, 13, 14 maybe for this?
No, actually, it's really like, Tia, what do you think age-wise? Like you being closer to that age, like being 20?
12 to 18.
12 to 18. And then just girls or boys or girls?
No, boys and girls.
Boys and girls, okay. Can you get it translated into Spanish?
I'm sure that I'm sure I could Google some sort of company out there that can do that. I know a little bit of Ukrainian and Russian, and so maybe that.
I know Canadian, so.
Yeah, I just think about it. Well, because now I'm in Mexico a lot, and I know like I volunteer with a school where they teach kids who otherwise would not be able to go to school, because even if you're that age and you're from a family who doesn't make a lot of money, they have to buy their own uniforms. It's like going to private school down here to go to public school, which is weird to me. But so there's this organization that actually teaches them. And I have talked to them about bringing in programs like this, and they love the idea, but there's nothing in Spanish. So I don't know if there's something that could be created, get somebody to translate it. I think you could really, because that's a big problem here in Mexico, is they don't see the way out sometimes, and I think that could be really helpful.
Wow, thank you so much for that suggestion, because that didn't ever like cross my mind that that we would have that opportunity to get this into a different country. But I am sure that there's ways for us to be able to do that, and actually do it faster than a year. You know what I'm saying? Like do it actually quite quickly, when maybe not tomorrow within a couple hours by any means, but I feel like there's so much out there for help wise on the internet that I bet there's a company out there that specifically does that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there is.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah. All right. So we're getting to the end of our time here. So one more thing I want to do. Tia, I want to hear your vision of where this is going, where you're going, what you vision happening with You Today Academy. And then I have a proposal for the two of you.
Awesome. I think for me as an individual, like anyone who knows me, like thinks or feels like I'm a very confident, outgoing person, and little do a lot of people know that I struggle with depression and anxiety. And with that, I've definitely over the past couple of years have realized it's more of a strength than a weakness for me, because I'm able to help more people. I'm able to relate with them because I have this mental illness. And with this course and with developing it, it has even helped me further understand how I can use my depression and anxiety to not only help me, but others. And my vision for this would be to help those people and youth that are also struggling with depression, anxiety, have ADHD, whatever that may be, to help them find that confidence that they need. Even if on the outside they don't show it, or maybe they do show it and are struggling internally, my vision would be to just help those kids and youth that are struggling with that realize that even though they have this setback, that doesn't change the fact that they can be confident and they can find the successes in their lives. So it would just be so awesome, like we've talked about, to be able to get into schools and talk to people, get on a stage and talk and help anyone we can. And I think that's something that's really grown in my heart over the past couple of years, is just helping other people and helping them realize their abilities and what they're capable of.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, I want you to tell people where they can find you guys, social media, all that. Most important, where they can find the course and purchase that. And then I'll tell you what I'd like to propose.
Go ahead, Tia.
Okay, so our website is youtodayacademy.com, and you can find our course on there. It's really simple and easy to find, and you can purchase it there. Right now, I think it's for $38. Is that right, Liz?
37.
37.
Yeah.
So it's very affordable, and we want it that way, so you can purchase it. Our Instagram handle is @youtodayacademy, and yeah, that's our 2 platforms.
All right. And again, anyone that's had youth that have been cooped up through COVID, this is exactly the type of thing they need right now. What I want to propose to the 2 of you is you let me give one away.
Oh,
Go
of
for
course.
it. Go for it.
All right. So this episode is going to be released on August 19th. And so what I want to do is anyone, wherever you're listening to this, whether it's on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you're listening to it, if you want a chance to get a free Pattern of Success course, what I want you to do is share this episode somewhere and then email me at jeff@jeffheggie.com with the subject line Pattern of Success. In that email, tell me where you shared it and your name, and you will be entered into the draw, and we will draw on, it will close at 11:59 p.m. on August 26th, and we will be giving away. So we'll make an announcement, and these guys can announce it on their social media. I'll announce it on mine, but just make sure to share the episode, whether it's the podcast, the video, whatever you're doing, share it so they can get their word out to more people and help more of these youth. So share that, and then email me at jeff@jeffheggie.com. So that's JEFFHEGGIE, and put in the subject line, the Pattern of Success, and where you shared it. And we are going to help these ladies get this course out there, because I have been through it with my daughter, my other daughter, and it is well worth it. And for $37, don't wait for the drawing. Get it now, and help your kids get out of what they've been going through during COVID. But you guys, thank you so much for being on with me. Appreciate it, and great talking with you.
Thank you so much for having us. It's been awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, I want to thank Tia and Liz for being on with us. They did great, and they've got some really great things happening. So go check out their stuff at youtodayacademy.com. And for that giveaway, use the hashtag Pattern of Success. But thanks for being with us. Hope you got a lot out of it. And please go share this episode so they can get their word spread and get it out to more people. And please check out my website, jeffheggie.com. And you can go to Heidi's, and it is ecisecurepay.com. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you next week. Bye.